We sweet, sweet salo. We not for make this country fall. Mama salo. We let we salo. This sweet land we love. We not for make them fall.
Sierra Leone is indeed a land rich in natural resources, including diamonds, gold, bauxite, and rutile, along with a vast potential for agriculture and fisheries. However, the shadows of its past, most notably the brutal civil war from 1991 to 2002, continue to haunt the nation. The war, fueled by corruption, economic disparity, and the infamous blood diamonds, left deep scars on the social, political, and economic fabric of the country. The politics of grievance, characterized by deep-seated resentment and divisions along ethnic, regional, and partisan lines, remains a dominant force in Sierra Leone's political landscape. These grievances often stem from historical injustice, perceived marginalization of certain groups, and the legacy of corruption and nepotism in government. As a result, the political discourse and interactions in Sierra Leone are frequently charged with mistrust and antagonism, impeding efforts to build a unified national identity. This fractured political climate has significant implications for nationhood and development. A continuous cycle of blame and counter-blame between political parties has diverted focus from more critical developmental policies and reforms. Public institutions struggle with inefficiency and corruption, further eroding citizens' trust in the government. Consequently, national unity remains elusive, with regional and ethnic loyalties often taking precedence over a collective national identity. The lack of a cohesive national vision undermines development efforts, as political instability discourages foreign investment and disrupts long-term planning. Social cohesion is also compromised, with communities remaining divided along political and ethnic lines. For Sierra Leone to progress towards true nationhood and sustainable development, it is essential to address these historical grievances, promote inclusive governance, and foster a political culture that prioritizes national interests over partisan gain.
Yabudisia wanae awisie Raminu seke nungu sukuri nuto famulen in a cabo plenty kushetina. Today, I want to welcome those that are first timers. As we are pleased, we see more people in the Kanwachui, and rightfully so, because this organization, the Institute of Community Progress, now one way they do research for the country, we do very serious research, we go only add value for Sierra Leonean issues, because we don't do surveys, and then surveys then they don't lead we for understand, say, quite a lot of Sierra Leoneans are not orientated in who they are, their identity, their history. We Creomans say, know yourself not to cause na good advice. It means to say, you go understand and get more value if you know your environment, you understand your history, you know how your society is like in the past, the present, and in the future. So today, we can talk about something very important and very extensive research has been done. We want to pay attention. Some of them things they are now opportunity where una get for take with two hands. The question here is Yenga. Now a town within a Kailaun district. This town here is situated in the eastern province. The people that waited it predominantly na Kisi people then, and then Kisi people then they na that border area then they na Guinea, then they na Sierra Leone, and then na Liberia. But we notice, say, of late in the last decade or so, we get issues where Guinea they seem for the stake a claim. Why did they do so? What make them they make this claim? Is Yenga truly a Sierra Leonean place or a Guinean place? These are the questions. And I then question there, we want carefully put the microscope on for let people then go digest them, they understand them for profit. Quite a lot of people then they get opinions, issues of this kind, not to issues of opinion. Now issues them where you need for no facts. And if you build your opinion based on facts, then your understanding will be one way go give profit to the subject where we can discuss. So family, today, because of the seriousness of this particular topic, Yenga, where now a subject we don't begin the trigger, inject nationalism into we the Sierra Leonean and something that we are very happy about. But for me, a nationalist without understanding your country, it will make you a little bit disabled. Now that's make we encourage owner for we come at this we platform, na place where we will feed una with their information there, and we will also educate una and also signpost una books them, articles, and information when una go read for authenticate, then thing there will give una references. Because of the seriousness, we do a lecture today. Pajalo na in the chair, he could ask him questions because we don't want anything where dilute the seriousness of what we talk about now today. And we're not going to understand, so man will wonder, this is part of the education, and they call Mr. Jalo Pajalo. Now we call you not get Mr. And if we get for begin the anthropology and the history of we society and we communities, we get for start by practicing it. I call him Pajalo because now we culture Mr. Node Napa because now an adult, now a big man, a big for me. And likewise, Insect will refer to me as Pature. Now so we meet with people and they do. Now that make all man, they call a company Papa, Pakamara, Pasisi, Pature. Pajalo na in the chair today. Pajalo, you go tell the people them do.
I hope then they hear me clearly because I dey get some issue with this me amplifier or mixer, how you call them. Fambul them una good evening, una kabo, una good morning. Na piari sekeno, bondesha bia naka uyena. Today we can give some answers to this Yenga thing. And I want to make one point clear before I start to talk about Yenga. This Yenga issue is start from the time of President Ahmed Tijan Kaba in last days. We go through the period of Ernest Bai Koroma. We've been getting an understanding saying President Alpha Conde and they don't come to an agreement. Then it don't start again under the military junta headed by Colonel, I think, is he a Colonel or Captain Mamadi Doumbouya. There is a history behind Yenga, and we go make part of that history they known to Sierra Leoneans then today, and I go implore the government of Sierra Leone for take certain steps. One step we'll get for rule out, because this morning I've been there listening Liberty Online. I even make a comment there. I see some people later, oh, for send we soldier them. But now left fetch business. Guinea they crush you inside 30 seconds. We're not match for the Guinean army. They are more professional and better equipped than us. Now the option what we get, now for look at the legal, historical, and cultural angles, now we get a lasting solution to this. About a year ago, on the 12th of April, this my colleague not been there online that day, I did a program where I talk about Yenga. That was the only thing I talked about that day. But we get a country where everybody they presume say them sabi. We don't listen to each other. We talk at each other. That's one of our biggest crises. If we want to make Sierra Leone go before, we get for put down with individuality, because that's a crisis for us. There are certain things where Sierra Leone big pass we all. Now look at Sierra Leone. This is not a political issue. It's about the sovereignty of the place we call our motherland or our fatherland. Before the Europeans came to Africa, we been get small chiefdoms and kingdoms them. That place where then they call Sierra Leone not been there exist. That place where then they call Guinea not been there exist. Now when Europeans then go, now Berlin in 1884, of course, I mean start the meeting first, now Paris before 1884. But the final outcome, now Paris go Duam, 1884, 85.
1885.
84, 85. The meeting started 84, then completed 85. Now they then go draw all them border will get soon Africa. And then we use certain principles for do that demarcation there. Then we use lines of longitude and latitude. Then we use moving water bodies, rivers. The rivers then take them say the middle of the river, now in the border between two countries. Like we'll get the Scottish River at the north, between Sierra Leone and Guinea, now the middle of the Scottish River. Then the northernmost part of Sierra Leone, we see and say now a straight line. That is latitude 10 degrees north of the equator. This is the principle that was used at the Berlin Conference. Then divide Africa into what we call today the political units or the countries them, where they say Nigeria, Ghana, Libya, this, that. They all were divided on that basis. Let me answer somebody what they call me. Hello? Hello? They don't cut off. If we ever solve the problem of Yenga, we ever go back to the history starting from 1884-85. Answer this man, yeah? Hello? Hello? Yes, sir. Do a call later. I want to give a lecture first before we begin to take calls. This is not about opinion. This is about facts, and I'm going to give the facts today because I know the facts. I give the facts to the Aneskroma government, and I'm willing to give it again today. Before they go further, let's just make people then see the first show I've been doing last year.
I was just going to ask that you put the map up.
This was the show I did last year. Yenga Crisis, a product of ignorance and reactive governance. I go advise we listeners, let them go on the platform and listen to what you say. Because today I'm going to add on or to what I said at that time. Yenga was part of Conakry, Guinea at the Berlin Conference. That inland peninsula will get we FIBA inland peninsula when a Kailaun district. It was part of Guinea at the Berlin Conference.
So, Pajalo,
this part of Sierra Leone was part of Guinea at the Berlin Conference. If you want to see a black line, this was the original border. Go ahead, sir. Ask your question.
So that part there, now the east, where Kailaun district, when that part there, this Yenga there, at the hills them by the Makuna river. Before 1885, in Guinea.
Yeah. Well, before 1885,
so
there were no Adekam. Let me make clear.
I want to let you tell me the transition.
And not been there in Guinea because Guinea never existed before 1885.
Okay.
That's the point I want us to make clear.
Okay.
Guinea and Sierra Leone never existed before 1885. Mali never existed. La Côte d'Ivoire never existed. Ghana never existed. Senegal, Gambia, they only started existing after 1885. And at the Berlin Conference, where the demarcation was done, this was the original border with this straight line following this part. How did we get this part to be part of Sierra Leone? Before colonialism, this part of Guinea had been an establishment doing business with British traders. On the outskirts of Guinea or Conakry, on this island called Ile de Los, there was a British establishment owned by a British man called Mills Baba. He had a company, Baba and Bolom Limited. During the slave trade, all that period there, now British them be occupy here. But at the Berlin Conference, there was an agreement between the French and the British that because this northern border of Sierra Leone at latitude 10 degrees north, they wanted Conakry, so they came to an agreement to use the Great Scarces River as the border. But originally, the latitude 10 degrees should have extended to the coast, meaning that Bouquet, Dubreka, Conakry, Forecaria, etc. should be in Sierra Leone. So if Guinea want to claim this part of Sierra Leone today, they have to go back to give this part, which was the border agreed on at the Berlin Conference. All this part below this red line. And that means they have to give Conakry to Sierra Leone.
So that was a swap. So if they say they want to keep waiting and swap and take back waiting at the agreement, that means to say again for revert back to the old borders.
Yes.
That's how they want it. And
Yes.
these are the things they try for put to we Salon people and say this not an issue of emotions. Not
to politics, not to emotion, not to Boku talk.
This is pure history, na pure factual evidence with a put snaya with no fear. Because at the end of the day, not a team what we need for FET for. And besides, Sierra Leone will go FET for with the moral of the army is so low. You know, we all know what happen in our country. And besides, we can resolve this. And
now I want to show.
Now, if the facts come out, so Pajalo, please.
I want to show the public extracts that I make from 2 documents. I go read the extracts here, then I go show them the documents.
Fantastic.
The first part where they in yellow reads, British traders and Britain considered this region within their spheres of influence before the imposition of French rule over the coast of Conakry, Guinea, and Fouta Djallon in the second half of the 19th century. They perhaps expected it to become British territory if an European power absorbed it. That is the local people. This paper traces the activities of British investment interests from the mid-18th century, that's about 17-something, and the methods used to maintain dominance over competing ventures. It also details official British government's efforts to establish colonial posts along this coast and direct linkages with leaders of Fouta Djallon in the mid-19th century. Whatever the consequences of these attempts, British officers were keenly aware of this region's importance to British commercial success in West Africa. Now we come to the pink side. Between 1750 and 1790, principal centers for British activity in Conakry, Guinea were at Île-de-Los, located a few kilometers from Sangara Point, and at Bounce Island in Sierra Leone River. Sangara Point, that now the side where they call it the Kalum, na Conakry.
Okay.
Kalum.
Okay.
That's side where you then they call Anville in Conakry, because I know Conakry, like I know Freedom. Kalum. Now a whole municipality, Conakry City get 5 municipalities. Coming the Kalum. Now they na been Sangara Point. Now they then Parliament Day. Now they then get them port. Now they even the residents of the head of state today. So now from what I have read, you see the British had been there before Africa was colonized. It's clear. And I make today, we get Creole them na Conakry. Because when the British started repatriating Africans back to Africa, one of the first port of call was Île-de-Los in Conakry. Then go settle some people then they when a Creole.
Yeah.
Then bring the other hand in a Freetown. As a matter of fact, the recent Minister of Justice under Mamadi Doumbouya in government, Alphonse Charles Wright, is a typical Creole. He speaks Creole like they talk him.
Yeah.
And they talk French and English perfectly.
And
Not to then say, I know the family.
These are facts where a lot of people don't know. It will come as a shock to people that Sierra Leone say there are Creole people them when are
Yeah.
Guinean and some of them all very strong offices.
Very, very big
And
office.
then there's there what we they talk about where Britain begets business interests in that area then they. Then we get warehouses then they.
Yes.
Where
exactly.
a lot of Creole people at that time, not them, not be the how you they call them, the people where get experience in anything and there. Because even a man called John Ezidio, when I be the first mayor of Freetown, he was one of them people and they will be the work with the merchants there. So Pajalo, do you know of any fracas or altercation between the British and the French in that area? They ever fought? They ever get couscous?
Well, before the Berlin Conference, yes, there had been one or two fracas between the British and the French. There was a time even the French invaded Freetown, where the people there would be resettled. Then therefore run go up the hill when from they will get Leicester, Gloucester, etc. This is Alphonse Claude Wright that I'm showing, the Creole Guinean, who was recently Minister of Justice
Yes.
under Mamadi Doumbouya in government. This fellow speaks Creole like we speak it in Sierra Leone.
And you get lots more. Good number.
Plenty. Then get a whole area. Now Dixon, coming the Dixon, where they very close to the central market, na Conakry, where then they call Madina Marché.
Yeah.
Over the railway line, coming into Dixon, that whole area, which is almost like where you take like from Eastern Police to Upgon, that whole area, na Creole and Dede. Then call that area Madina Liberté. I know that place because I used to be there almost every day when I was in Conakry between 1998 and 2003.
You go also make a clarification about other tribes where they na all three countries. Because it's very important that we put them in there clear to people and let them understand what they deal with.
First and foremost, the Maori na power na Guinea. They get connection with one of the tribes them when they do business with the British. The Doumbuyas in Guinea, they are originally Baga. But through intermarriages, they have been mixed with Malinke and other people. Then they show them.
Can you clarify who the Bagas were?
The Bagan are just like Timni, where Saint Pierre, then said the Saint Pierre, Sekeo.
Very important that we break down because some people don't understand.
We get Baga then a Sierra Leone, then they come here, then they Lunge.
Now that make ask that. I know, but a lot of people when they watch, not understand anything there. And I wonder we to this thing here, now we shift around, now we put the pebbles them, the sand, and the chaff. So the Gizi people then, and also there is also an history of a powerful warrior where go left people them where settle in that area do. You can expand in that area.
Then inland Sierra Leone they talk about.
Okay.
Usai Yenga and Kailaunde.
Yes.
Then inland they talk about. The man we come with them day. Tirakam and Traore, Wena Toure. Some they call themselves Tarawali. This is the document that I did the extraction from.
Okay.
Continuing British interest in coastal Conakry and Futajalon Island, 1750 to 1850. This period was before the Berlin Conference.
Yes.
So that is clear now. The Tirakam and Traore, the people that we come with now inland Guinea, them in inland Guinea, and some spread into Sierra Leone. The people that we spread into Sierra Leone, some of them now they call Kono. The other part of them, they mix today. Because the Konyaka them, we also na a major group, Malinke group na that area, this area.
Mhm.
This area.
Yeah.
You get Bandi, you get Konyaka, of course the Kisi them, most of them they inside this area.
And of
This
course,
part of Guinea carries over 60% of the Kisi people. This part of Liberia carries about 30%. Now 10% Kisi they inside Sierra Leone.
and of course, that you lay the premise very powerfully. And I tell you, thank you for that. But for the people that will watch again, now they mean interest deep and big time because I want them to grasp this particular lecture. You mentioned Bandi. Some man don't know what in a Bandi because today we they call them loco. But in the real name for them, that tribe they not Bandi, but they are now loco. Can you expand for them?
Let me just do.
Can you tell?
Let me just do a skip something. You see all this part of Sierra Leone?
Yeah.
This was originally occupied by the Bandi, the Gola, the Vai, and the Galines, and the Kru. They were the occupants of this part. Later, they mixed with Timinis. The Timinis, they opened this part, now then are the Banta Timini. That's why even today, when you go to places like Bont, you meet people there who are Timni. You go to Puja, you meet people who are Timni. That's how they call it SCS Omambu, like Bandi.
And Moyamba divided into upper and lower Mabanta. And the Mabanta na a dialect of Timni, just like how you get how you call them Galines Minde, you get Baminde. Now so the Timni themselves then get your dialect then. You get
what they call Pamende, na Timnis we mix with Mende.
Minde.
And then na the Pamende.
Waiting
and they have been living peacefully, even though some Timnis then still did, and they live peacefully. They have been living peacefully for decades or centuries.
Yes. So I want you for make the people know how this Bandi name disappear and how it come into a new name. People have to know these things, and it is our duty to bring.
Well, I don't want to deviate too much from this.
No, we're not deviating. When we talk the issues, they talk about anything there. We will use the privilege.
I want we do that second half of the camp on this issue about surnames.
Please, brush on them quick.
The bandits, them, now then are the people where the monies they meet. They meet the Bandi, they meet Timini, they meet Limba, they meet Bolom, who they call Shabro. And the mixture with them people, then they will come. Now they will get the rise of organized government. The monies they will come, then come several times. The first batch will come, then come up from the north. Now I make, when you go certain parts of Sierra Leone, you they meet a lot of surnames we connected with the Senegambia region. Names like Fofana, Sise, Mansari, who they call Mansare, Jakite, Njai, Njawara. These are names from the Senegambia region. The Manis that we come south, they came with the Islamic culture and they mixed with those people they met. That's why when you look at the spread of Islam in Sierra Leone, you see and say it spread more in the north and coming south, it's cut off maybe when you reach like Moyamba Tonkolili.
Yeah.
Because that was the spread of the Senegambian Manis. Some of them went inland as far as Bo. the Sisseys in Bo, all those guys in Bo calling themselves Madingo, they have Senegambian connection.
Yeah.
Some go south, a few go south, as far as Pujam.
Yeah. But outside in Mende, then call
Like
it,
the Soirees of Pujam,
then
they
call
have a
it Indian-
Senegambian connection.
Yeah. We get the soiree them back in Cambia.
Then they back Freetown.
And the soiree them now, one of the biggest Arabic scholars them, and then bring a particular kind of Muslim, when are the Islam where no they do harm to anybody when a non-Islamic person. Then believe say Islam or whatever person they be, they can cohabit together and live peaceably.
Exactly. And the home they take it in Gambia.
Yeah.
They get a big mosque there and a global movement that people go there every year. The place is called Jakaba in the Gambia. They're close to the border with Senegal.
Fantastic. But you still not talk here to why bandit and aloko now. Let people know the transition.
Well, that now the British then can't give them that name loco. They can't then give all Boku different name there.
Apparently, now the chief in name.
Yeah, when the European they call Fula, Fula man, appeal.
Because well, for people for understand, the which man also be called GB. They not get them. They not get that plosive dinner at the mouth. Bandi. So they're not able to call him. Then chief be named Loco.
Yeah, Songo Loco.
Then chief
he was living at the very place where they called Wosongo today.
Yeah.
It was Songo Loco.
Yes.
When they ask him what's in his name, he showed a name. So the people there, when I people then they say Loco in Pekin in Fambul there. And then the word Loco come with the knot.
Yeah. So instead of calling them Bandi now, they say Loco people and Loco people.
But Liberia still they call them Bandi.
Yes. But people do not know that relationship in Arabic. Just the same way, the Shebra, they what they call Shebra. So they are
Bolum.
The Bolum people there. And they were called Bolum, which Manos be called Bolum. So the chief be named by
the chief be named by Shebra, and I didn't get it.
So now then they call by Shebra people and by Shebra people, and so they end up for be Shebra.
But they did the same thing in India. They met the Indians calling their place Mumbai, then go call them Bombay. I be get one pa when I be old Simawe don't check it, they sing Calcutta, Bombay.
You see, there has been quite a lot of demographical movements now in country where the tribe them they move around, then don't they move, the population they change, and it happened peaceably. And when it happened, it left trails. It left fingerprints. And then there we they look at. Now then there they give them the information there where a lot of people not seem.
This is another document where they point to the fact that Conakry was under British control for a long time before the Berlin Conference. These are all research documents that I had access to whilst I was looking for materials for my book where they try for publish. You understand? And of course, the fact is, before then, I had known about this swap between the French and the British for Conakry and this eastern part what they call Kailaon. This information was given to us by our geography professor at Jala University College, the late Professor D.R.G. Gwyn Jones. Anybody who do geography and environmental sciences in Jala is supposed to know what they talk so. Because Natio the Pab in the gear as a lecture. The time we've been there in the 70s.
Would you tell us about the colonial grave we end up on that fracas within a Kailaon?
Well, after the demarcation of Africa, there was one specific man who never wanted to go under French control. He would prefer to do business with the British because he had been doing business with them even before the establishment of the colonies. That is Samori Toure.
Mhm.
He had his empire weaving cover the forested region, and most of them encompass what they call today Kailan, this area
Mhm.
of the forested region and beyond to this part. That was Samori Toure's empire, where they call Wasulu.
Mhm.
It was very, very much resistant to French control.
Mhm.
And even before the establishment of the French control, Samori had been doing business with the British.
Mhm.
He used to come to Conakry to do business. He also came to Freetown to do business.
Mhm.
During them trips away, they come and go. Now he established the town of Karine in northern Sierra Leone.
Mhm.
That's why today, when you go to Karine, you they meet the Madingos, the one as Samorin people them. Then they live side by side with the Limba and Fulani, because Samori been they do business. Then alongside them, you been get Fulani them,
Mhm.
who been they come from Futa Jalon for
Mhm.
can do business na Freetown.
Mhm.
The port of Freetown had long been known as a port for trade.
Mhm.
That was during the time of them, Vasco da Gama and others, who been they go through Freetown. Some be they go through the Cape of Good Hope to India.
Mhm.
Some be they pass through Freetown for go to Caribbean, for
Mhm.
go South America, etc.
Mhm.
So Freetown had always been a trading port.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yeah.
Samori had been doing business. He
Mhm.
was comfortable doing business. He
Mhm.
wanted the British to take control
Mhm.
of what he had as his empire, but
Mhm.
the British were not so keen. You see, the other thing we get for know is the psychology of colonialism. When you look at West Africa today, you see more area occupied by French than you have British.
Mhm.
The British were not too keen at occupying territory. They were more concerned about trade. And now one of the reasons will make a country get problem today. Because even at the time of independence, the British had not made much input into Sierra Leone like the French did in other parts of West Africa.
Mhm.
You understand?
Mhm.
You imagine at the time of independence in 1961, we only had 500 trained teachers in Sierra Leone?
Mhm.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
We had less than 40 trained medical doctors. We
You
had
don't.
less than 20 engineers. So we started on a rough footing. But the greatest crime committed to Sierra Leone is that those intellectuals who took the country to independence never sat down and say, we have work to do. The Botswana did it. Botswana got independence with 24 graduates and a few high school leavers. Because they knew they had work to do, they sat down and did their homework. We from the one who privatize politics, who privatize them, then say winners take all, we'll get power now for Sidon we eat. It's our turn to eat. Now we don't eat the money, no, the Guinea they can't bully we. So what you go do?
Mhm.
What you go do now? Guinea don't come. Then say they want Yenga. Yes, now then get them. But let them give we Conakry now we own. Are the Guineans ready to do that?
That's the thing. And a day I be just wonder we can now. So what you go advise with government for pay full attention in doing any negotiation? What you go advise?
They have negotiated this thing for too long. There is a peaceful way this thing can move forward. The government of Sierra Leone should take immediate steps to involve the International Court of Justice in The Hague. Let them give an injunction to Guinea. Otherwise, some fracas go start that place through ignorance. We're not going to go well. We don't need military action to solve this problem. The facts are there. This is what they show so that the International Court of Justice, now them is settled that problem between Cameroon and Nigeria concerning that Bakassi Peninsula.
We use the same model. I agree with
Yes.
you. Mm-hmm. But we problem now, we not get mature politicians. We just get
well, whether they mature or not, they are going to mature now. Otherwise, I go they cost them. Listen to me, Imran. Mm-hmm. I am not here to look at the negatives. I'm here to tell them what to do.
It is not negative.
Julius Maada Bio and his team should wake up. If they want advice, let them contact me. I'll tell them what
people will not give what they don't have.
I don't care. I'm going to force them to. After us, we are all Mister. One of the things we make with politicians, they misbehave in Sierra Leone. They give them too much rights. They are not the owners of the country. The constitution is clear in chapter 2 that sovereignty belongs to the people.
To the people and only the people.
And we, the people, are going to stand up now to tell them what to do.
You see, me not person way.
If they don't listen, we will take it to any level for them to do.
They look beyond me nose. And they look under me foot. The reason we make they say this, it is simple. You see now, all kind of be one be president. They mean to say being president is not child's play. When you be president, these are the things you have to go through, the things you have to do. You get for big decisions for millions of people. You make a mistake. If an engineer build house, the house broke, 2-3 dozen people will go die. If a politician make one big mistake, thousands, millions of people will go die. Now that's make, you see, for be a president, for be a leader, not to child's play, not to picking load. This is not elephant head. Now you get all kind, Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Mister.
Can be bread now, bread baskets. And then
Mister.
Yeah, I'm listening.
If people get the leaders they deserve. If you are not an active participant in having bad leaders, you are passive. Yesterday, I was in a group talking, one of the so-called strategic communication, one can begin cost me. Now tell and say, I have something to offer that your boss within Benki Lenki Kobo Food, so behave yourself.
Because, honestly...
Are they come, Imran. If we want Sierra Leone to change, we self what they demand change for take a new strategy. If we keep vexing on these idiots, the nonsense will continue. Let us tell them now that this is what we want. This is how we want it. Let us give them the information. If they don't take action, we are going to instigate Sierra Leoneans to take action en masse against them.
Jalo, what you talk, it's all correct. But what I'm saying is very correct, because to start with, for solve a problem, you got to understand the problem. You got to know what's in the problem.
Yeah, understand Sierra Leone problem.
You see, we get them people there, and not on the first group like this, because when people like come out, you tell people this, that. This is the problem more we don't get from time immemorial. APC can the same thing, SLPP can the same thing. They take group of irrelevant people can make them leader. And you see, the thing is, when you peel orange, you squeeze and now orange the come out. Let them not accommodate. Let them not get for accommodate. You see?
Well, that is why we should not be afraid to tell them what is right.
That's what we are doing. And that is the reason why what is same
And
thing
me
what we do-
seated here, let me make it clear. There is no president above me in Sierra Leone. As a citizen of Sierra Leone, I get right for tell you what I feel, and I get right for tell you what for do. When you not do them, I know the channels them for follow, let the legal instruments them, we don't subscribe to, let them be used for get you for behave yourself.
Yeah. Because you see, this criminal enterprise where we get the run our country, one they come, next one they come. We pull khaki, we replace them with khaki. But we not go pull khaki, we replace them with corduroy, tragal, a better fabric. We get lustra. We will just spray starch pan khaki all the time, the iron with goose.
Let we put this thing back. Let people then begin see them. The Institute for Community Progress is an internationally registered body, and it's also registered in Sierra Leone. It's made of well-meaning Sierra Leoneans. It's not a political body. We don't encourage politics in it. If you're SLPP, you can join. If you're APC, you can join. But know that when you come there, that your politics, leave it on the doors outside.
Precisely.
Here, it's about Sierra Leone and Sierra Leone alone.
This institute where una see before
We not get time for sit down, they complain. We don't complain 64 years. Now it's time for solutions.
we dey tell people them say all the things and what would they put on Panama see where they come, you left you so snado. It is gender neutral, it is tribal neutral, it is regional neutral, it is about knowledge, it's about understanding Sierra Leone, it is about growth for Sierra Leone, it's about developing we minds. Because you see, what's in happen when we say we get independent? People then go put boats na the jetty, then jump inside and forget them, bring them behind. So how we go emancipate we head what we inside boat without the brain? So we got for come back na the jetty, now we can get that we said. Because we get independence, we be supposed to don't calibrate we self into who we are. We dey try for run an engine with a fuel we're not compatible to the engine. We are Sierra Leoneans. We are meant to be independent. We meant for think for we self. We meant for run a country for we self. Provide for we self. But how we go do that if we dey think in another man's skin? We pull white colonialists, we replace them with black colonialists. I remember I do an audio days there where I be the talk about weep not child. There is a man there, what they call Jacob. Jacob na in the black colonialist. And I funnily na the only person who they allow for get land. Because na him be they work for the white man against young people. And this is what our politicians are doing.
You see, that's one point. The other point is, we people get for depoliticize the mind.
Precisely.
We cannot change Sierra Leone because Yenga they be now. Let us make it a fault of Mother. It started with John Kaba.
It's been
It
there.
came to Ernest Koma. If Ernest Koma and Alpha Conde had a lasting solution, where we involve legal contracts, I'm sure Mamadi Doumbouya will not renege on that. Now, we'll start this thing. I say, we've had too many talks and negotiations. Now it's time for the government of Sierra Leone to go to the International Court of Justice in The Hague, not the ICC, but the ICJ. Let them get them to put an injunction on Guinea whilst a research is being done about who rightly owns Yenga. And as far as I know, that part of Sierra Leone should have belonged to the French. And because the French created Guinea and controlled Guinea, it should be part of Guinea. But if we are going to do that, then the Guineans have to give us all the land below latitude 10 degrees north, which includes Bokeh, Conakry, Forécaria, etc.
And it is clear that they have more to lose than us.
Well, but because we look, they come, Imran. You not in this the show we?
Uh-huh.
Sierra Leoneans should stop talking and start learning.
Exactly.
Ignorance is too much with us. What I mean, we say knowledge is better than silver and gold. We have a Lego me and they go find diamond and gold. Now
Well,
we ignorance now make Guinea the misbehave. So.
When our ignorance make, we don't know what's in our national independence. We
not even know what's in a Sierra Leone.
We still they talk say 64 year and a salon i birthday. If you really get that mind, they say salon i birthday, country we don't exist for over 3,000 years. You talk for say now 64 year old. It gets inhabitants then way old past the country. Then it show how vacuous you be.
But me they talk so our old pass alone.
You know? Exactly.
Me they talk so our old pass alone if
Exactly.
not the independence with the contest the birth date.
Because independence, it means a country's freedom from external control, allowing itself to govern itself and determine its own path. It involves a nation's ability to make its own laws, manage its own economy, conduct its own foreign relations, and participate in international organizations without undue interference. Some other people in define and say national independence refers to the freedom of colonies from an empire, allowing them to govern themselves without external control. You see Sierra Leone like a country we not get external control today. The Westman
we're not able to feed on ourselves.
We're not able to feed ourselves. We're not able to country ourselves. We're not able to do elections for ourselves. Then what we have to ask ourselves these questions.
Now, let's come back to the topic. This is a work I have put together as a way of advice to the government of Sierra Leone. If they take it, fine. If they don't take it, we they give them time limit. If we see Yenga case begin mount, we are going to mount pressure with the legal instruments where we know say we are party to and get the international community for be involved. This is no time for begin talk about when mother be fat now in room or whatever, because that's what we keep doing in Sierra Leone. Every day we sit down, they talk about the rubbish where they go on, we know they look at the solutions.
No, we not like Kongosa, they ain't called Bisabodi Kongosa.
The solutions to Yenga, now they are the outline. So, first and foremost, get an application filed with the International Court of Justice in The Hague. Get an injunction on Guinea. Next, take a research-based approach. Do research on the history and every other thing we're connected with Yenga. After that, una do engagement with the public. The research-based approach, it will yield the following, because this is what was used by Nigeria and Cameroon in the case with the Bakassi Peninsula. Recently, the research-based approach assisted in partially resolving the issue between Ethiopia and Eritrea and the Badme conflict. Let us go and look at these things. Let us go and find out the historical facts, the situational facts. Let we look at what thing for do for make we get an amicable solution. And for make we do this, then for establish credible teams. Not to this is not about going to employ your Greek and Roman culture, employ learned consultants that you have. Man, they will go from a college, will receive legacy, cram and pass. This is serious business.
Cram and understand later.
When I get people that will understand the history and everything, lawyers them will understand constitutional law, international border issues, etc., etc. Let them work together and build what they call a Yenga dossier. That dossier should put a case that will be presented to the ICJ, let them come in and arbitrate in this issue. Now, Pinkolo na de Pasida and so-called Minister of Eastern Province, when he had Fiba Pepperstone, in our whose actor in himself, they say, that's a look at this idiot. You
For,
people take a fight with the Guinean army, in 30 minutes to 1 hour, they'll liquidate that part.
for people that when they listen, Bajalo talk and within he talk, he give recommendation as a form of advice. Because waiting we they put before all man, not to teen way alien. Other countries then they get their issues there.
It happened all over the
Nigeria
world.
get similar problem, then use a path. We they encourage for that we use that path. Now that make it say let them research and put a dossier. What's in a dossier? Now a document. That means them put a Yenga document together. We go deal with their issues there. We go make a clarification where Guinea no go begin the dilly-dally. Because Shaku Toure will understand the historic perspective of their issue there. Because if not be a bad boy, now Shaku Toure not the bad boy. But Shaku Toure, when he meets with Pacheki at one time, his speech where he give, he says Sierra Leone and Guinea. He said we are condemned. He said we are condemned by nature for that we live side by side.
Yeah.
We are brothers. We not choose each other.
Yeah.
We are condemned by God, by nature, for this side by side. That is exactly what Shaku Toure say. And Shaku Toure now also tell we say, Ingo rather deeper poverty in liberty than for they in slavery in riches. So likewise, we go employ that particular quote today, which I could to remake. Sierra Leone, we're not gentry, but let we get small national pride. Let we get small belief in we safe. Let we get a society where we organize, where we put people them, not just because of patrimony, not just because of tribe, not just because of religion or region. Would they put people them because the merit for them a place, so they go do exploit for we all. When we all go turn back and look at ourselves, say, wow, we get strong men and women now with society. But when they take square peg, they would put them around all. They would expect for get outcomes where go be beneficiary, where go be beneficial to we. You know, they work that way. Nothing, they happen for nothing. If you not do nothing, you not go for expect nothing. For you for harvest, you get for plant. We have to start planting. So this advice here, if any politician they listen and then they watch me.
Then they listen. I know say that they always listen.
Now, when I begin to consult the Nigerians then for know the people them will deal with that issue of Cameroon and Nigeria, get them for advice. We own people and when they gather the dossier, because these are the times you use them kind contacts then they people that have done it before, then get skills what we go need for employ for situation like this. The man when they talk say, then they go fet in a blacksmith, who for open blacksmith place for and let go begin the knock iron there.
Amen, the idiot.
They say if you want to be violent, you're not going to have violence bad. That's when my sister, she don't know you waiting and call. You try for killer with blue. Now you miss the mosquito and they go no for say violence and no good. You know, and these are the things where big people are supposed for talk. Small picking and candy.
What is I see one video where they talk to the people them now. I don't know if na coin or what thing. They use one false name of one American actor. Now I said, what in this idiot they talk? Does this guy even know the capacity of the Guinean army? Una want provoke a war? Please let us don't use that route. Use the legal route. Anyhow long it take, now we get a permanent solution to this Yenga thing.
Guinea get bigger army, they get larger population pass we. They can just open a modern talk, but they can talk with all clarity. Some adages in there.
And you get the other, they are like, oh, the party talk. I say, look at them.
Well, this is what bad politicians do. They play with the people emotions, and they don't understand. They don't see the danger where the man they employ for them. Because at the end of the day, not to Yenga for die, you not get for the day. This is what they do. I mean, I can talk for say, Usai an older man they see where is he on a bench. Alex small picking claim up mangutik, they see the. And these are the times we can forget people we get reasoning faculty. As I can always they say, person when not the reason can never be reasonable. And they say this because of them kind of people and the way they talk about so. Not the reason. How do you expect him to be reasonable in his behavior?
What's I don't forget the name.
You see? So, please, una implore this advice. We organization. Please.
We're not a beg them for tax.
Put them na the waiting.
We're not a beg them for tax. If they feel they can do it, let them go ahead. Let them go ahead, but let them do it right. If they don't do it right, if they don't do it right as citizens,
for community,
we are going to take action.
We are registered both in the UK and in Sierra Leone. And we do extensive research on the anthropology of Sierra Leone and history. And we know a lot about we traditions and we cultures. And I put S just to provoke, because now one culture we get in Sierra Leone. We get variances, but we are so similar in everything we do. There is no house not in Sierra Leone where they know they put rest for stranger even them. It's a practice what we get now with our society. At the south, they get Sunday moon. At the north, we get Bundu. At the same thing.
Not the same thing. I don't care how you call it, not the same thing.
So, at the south and the north, almost any town in those days, then small villages there, every town get blacksmith, and then people and they end up for big chiefs na places them because then they bring Master Sabine at the place.
Let's just show, I don't know if then they see this. Even after the Sierra Leone Company was established, the Sierra Leone Company came with the settlers of Freetown. There was business being done between the Sierra Leone Company and the people within that Conakry area. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Sierra Leone Company interest. However, two events of the late 1780s helped transform British interest in this region and brought significant changes. Between 1887, British philanthropic interests in London negotiated an arrangement with Timney and Bolom, landowners at the mouth of the Sierra Leone River, for a settlement for returning persons of African descent from British territories. At about the same time, the principal trading agent on Factory Island, now one of the island them, now Ile de Los, Mills Baba, decided to retire to settle his commercial and relational accounts upon the coast, and to return his physical property over to the farm of Richard Horrocks Jackson. The initial British settlement of 1787-1789, later termed the province of Freetown, failed from a combination of poor planning and unfortunate timing and unforeseen circumstances. The settlement was essentially rescued, however, by the establishment of a commercial venture, the Sierra Leone Company, which assumed some of the former sponsors' objectives, but added to them both a requirement to seek a profitable return for the company's investor and a desire to champion the goal of ending slave commerce and expanding British commerce into its place. The company at that point had an interest to go on to take over Conakry. This was one of the reasons why some of the Creoles were settled in Conakry. So you see, the historical facts are there.
Yeah. Clear.
There is no argument about it.
None whatsoever.
It's left to the government to get a correct team, let them do the research properly. If they need our advice, we go help them. Because this is about Sierra Leone. It's not about SLPP, not about APC.
You make a member UAC, when I be a French company, where they do business, then say we get warehouse, na them places then they.
Yeah.
And then be the import Renault, Peugeot, na Sierra Leone.
CFAO, Compagnie Française Afrique Occidentale, was doing business in Sierra Leone and in Guinea. My great-grandfather worked for CFAO after I retired from being a translator for the British. Alimami Umar Jallo Jamboria. He did that job because he taught himself to read and write English and French, and at the same time, he tafsir the Quran. But we look after, we all are like you, not study the Quran.
John Aziz yourself is a thought. He was a self-taught man. John Aziz, when I the first mayor.
You understand?
Quite a lot of things that the way people are, because somebody they say Sasa and Luis. Now I say that was John Ezidio before.
Luis now been the second man.
The second mayor. There are quite a lot of information they way a lot of people are not privileged to, and that is what we organization they do. We do research and we don't reference all ends in there, then therefore una for enjoy. But una get for show interest, una go force una for drink. You know, just like you say, you can take us go now water side, you not go force for drink. But if you are a Sierra Leonean, you have to understand the history and the anthropology of your society where you come out. You're not going to just say you're Sierra Leone and you not be nothing but your country.
If you don't have your cultural voting knowledge of your culture, you don't get knowledge of who you come out, then you are not Sierra Leonean, you are somebody else.
Not so that's make Guinea don't come out, see them and get Yenga.
No one.
Because we know they keep our eye on the ball. They're all over the place. They try to
all man want for be American, other one want be British.
Mm-hmm.
Other one be Guinean, other one be Igbo. Now then they where the Igbo beat them at the neck.
That's making money. The one when Yoruba, when they share Nigeria with Igbo, Yoruba man, you know, go ever say how them beat them, but as a low man, they put them beat them, and they're so proud of themselves. It's not bad, you know. Now,
we are noting that the best description for we. We are self-made zombies.
Honestly. And as we talk about Kailahu, you know, there are quite a lot of things, and this footprint where the Teruna, but where people and they move from place to place, how the demographic change. You see Kailahu. Now the north, you get a president called Galeahu. That showed the Mende connection. That is
the Bandi connection.
The big come now the north. Because
the Bandi then they use
yes.
You know say now the north you get Nongohaun.
Yes.
Bendembu Nongohaun.
Now outside the Bandi people and they what they call Bendembu.
Nongohaun.
The Bandi people. So now,
and that Pendembu is not too different from Pendembu.
Yes.
Then in Kenema, you have a place, a chiefdom they call Nongowa. The Bandi, they had him.
So Kailahu, you get Nongowahu.
Just like the Madingo, when then they refer to a place, then they call Anka.
Mm-hmm.
A group, no. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ya,
the Timni
Laminaya, the Timni, then said they
Ma
use that
and
ma.
Ro.
Oh,
Yes, Mabole, Makeni, Masingbi, Masheka, um, um, within that this place, you know,
then they use back Ro.
Mayamba,
Mayamba,
yes.
Ro.
Then you get Roti Funk, you get Robake, Rokambia, Rokata, it's Ro and Ma.
Yeah.
And some of the places, them demographically, they don't change, but they can leave them footprints there. Like
The name and they.
Nongo where show the connection, say the local then come out of the south, then Canada the north, and the west.
In fact, the history there, now we are not able to find now.
And even Kamakuye,
I get the record where then get a folk tale where then say two local brothers then been left Sierra Leone, then been left the area for going to the north. And they never returned. One of them was called Mambo. He is the founder of Kamakuye.
Kamakuye, yes.
That's why in Kamakuye, you they meet the Mambo family.
Mambo, yeah.
The Mambo them in the Moyamba district now, then they call themselves Mambo.
Yeah, Mambo them. And that's who they are, not local.
And today we have one who is preaching tribalism all over the world. Now, man, that Mr. Trust.
I mean, big trustees, I mean,
the man not even get son name. They begin cause people the way get son name. Me not get son name. Wait last show now.
People they need for land and understand.
The son names they how they relate to Sierra Leone. This is not a complete list. This is just a rudimentary list. I have not yet completed it. You see, family tree style chart of shared surnames across ethnic lines in Sierra Leone, Guinea, and Liberia. Kamara, which is the largest surname in the Mano River Union, has its origin from the Mandi. It's associated with traders, Goits, and Islamic scholars. That name is found in Sierra Leone amongst the Mende, Timni, Loko, Kuranko, Susu, and Limba. Kuruma, same Mande, Timni, Mende, Loko, Limba. Kaba, Mande, Senegambian, Timni, Madingo, Loko, Creole. Bangura, Mande, Mende, Timni, Loko. Sise, Timni, Mande, Loko. I would make this list available when I'm finished with it. We will discuss about it.
You get the Sanko, you get the Mansari.
They're all Mansari, etc. Fofana, Bakite, Injai. So people who go all over the place talking about surnames, they are either ignorant of who they are.
You get the Sila, you get the Soiree.
You know, Sila then come out. Now Mali, western Mali. The Silas originated from Kumbi Saleh. It is very close to the Senegalese border with Mali. Now the same place the Jakite then come out. The people they call Sarakule. You know, say that surname they say, but you know. Sarakule, now a name of a sub-ethnic group in Western Senegal. Western Mali, Eastern Senegal. They are called Sarahule. But in Sierra Leone, it's used as a surname. But their actual ethnic name is their Sonenke. You have some of them in Kabbalah. They mix with the Jalunkadem. The Sonenke.
The Jalunka gets a close dialect with the Soso.
They are connected. Yeah. The Jalonkade will move go on the coast, will mix with the Baga and the Bolom. Now then they talk that language they call Soso.
Mhm.
That's why you see, say, Baga, Bolom, Soso, they get same, a lot of words the way they in common.
A lot
Like
of
what team the man say Nambara, Soso man say Nambara, na the same team in.
numbers of thought.
And that Nambara Soto, that's how the Baga say it.
Mhm.
They don't say it like the team they say Po Soto Nambara. They
Mhm.
say Nambara Soto.
The word like sobe, they all use it. All Namanike derived word.
Abalinke words. So
Sarah,
for my people then sit down in Sierra Leone, they preach ethnicity.
they use the word pancreas and say Sarah. It comes from the Badingo word sadaka.
Yes.
You
You
know,
see,
the culture itself, at one time I did not know anything about Sierra Leone. The more we dig into them, where I begin to find out, I become more interested. Now I am so obsessed in finding out about it.
Mister,
You know, people.
Mister, I am not a historian, I'm a geographer and environmental scientist.
Upon a
If
side,
you see, I take history now out of the need for make we country understand who we are. Because the biggest problem we have in Sierra Leone today is ignorance.
total.
And it's worse with those people who consider themselves to be educated.
IMEX Sierra Leone gets one of the highest concentration of idiots.
Yeah, I call it.
Because that person where they talk about, where they go talk, say, they forget so your man and go. Is that the solution? Is that the long-term solution? Is your man and when they go now, you picking them, now you brother them, they not deserve for leave.
In fact, when they talk about Kai Sojaman,
Politically, we leader they lazy. Because if you political enough, you go try for find alternative ways then for resolve the problem. They'll get dialogue.
there are several ways to solve this problem. But why I say let them go to the ICJ directly? It's because ECOWAS has lost a lot of steam.
ECOWAS now don't give
And
them,
I don't think a military junta will listen to ECOWAS.
they get dispute already.
But if they go to the ICJ, Mamadi Doumbouya will be afraid of losing a lot of things, especially so now that they've signed a contract for start mining iron ore na Simbaya. Simandu Aminwa, they say Simbaya. The other thing about that Simandu issue, what we need for bring up, let's just find the map. I don't know if I don't put the map down. Well, if I have done so, then I'm sorry. That Simandu issue, the railway line where they agree on, say for build, that railway line therefore come from Mount Nimba right down to some point around Forekaria by the seaside. And if we are going to claim all the land below latitude 10 degree, that means that part of Guinea has to be within Sierra Leone.
And then go lost more than we.
Yeah.
It's a bigger area and a more lucrative area.
Yeah. So if the government is strategic enough to put the necessary international pressure, then they'll begin a solution to this Yenga issue. It will be a lasting solution. But again, there are questions, many questions.
Yeah, and some of the questions then within they come up and say that hill we get some serious mineral content.
Not for the mineral content, I am suspecting some international connivance.
That's a possibility.
I don't want to make hypothesis here. I don't want to create doubts, but I think Yenga issue is bigger than we are seeing it. It's not about Yenga alone. Some factor is looking at how they can own the diamondiferous eastern part of Sierra Leone. The government of Sierra Leone therefore get serious and do their homework. Because this issue is concerned with all. Go to the normal.
Where
When I
we
get serious, when I do our homework.
where we busy defend opinion for make leader in the country, we not defend grown-ups. Now popidem, tetemute, and what else? Gang.
And now I see over 50 of them don't rise on all the political parties.
Yeah.
Everybody want to be head of state.
Na for it. You know for saying na elephant. And in fact, now insult to the people of Sierra Leone for some people in for come forward. Though it's a right for everybody for waiting, but some of them not get me wrong and they also look at themselves, make them know for say they not get what it takes, they not get the experience. Yeah, some of them not even
The lines are open for people to call now. You can call and make your contributions.
they not even run a house. Before I go say a country, Miliju brigade them of all. One can go inside with great baskets.
And my Demia president, if you care to take contact, you'd have a lot of information.
Then the other one, when say Bobino Donna Imotito for be president, Timbo, in talk for say, then get godfatherism. So now, waiting some of who be done, they talk with some man talk for say,
But
we
it not got to be as news because maybe know that.
Some of us have been saying it. I don't understand. I mean, audio. When you say you get godfatherism, and it's a way godfather there, you get gang. So we don't tell them about them political party and a gangster.
Na gangs there. I want you now. So an assignment.
We don't have political parties in Sierra Leone.
Imran, I dey give Sierra Leoneans an assignment. Let them look all them top man the other inside SLPP. They do one thing in common that I have noticed. You know what that is? Then they wear some kind specific bead in their right hand. Take note of what I've told you today. That's cultism.
And
where started?
They stand up and a lot of Sierra Leone men.
Then get the bead then at the right hand. Now call to na get na power so. Now me say oh na ready na face na juju. Me na wali pikin idiots. Now me the mende man say bawote. You know that me know so Imran.
Ambulem, una call in, the line them open because me want retire early today. Because
we don't do justice to the topic. We don't need to
9 o'clock, we for the finish 11 o'clock prompt. Because 2 hours is a very long time. You know, very long time. You know.
Teddy Kamara, W.
Hello? 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 Yes, sir. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Camara not come out Senegal, then come out eastern part of West Africa. On a real name na Diomande. On a name na Diomande. Camara Koroma on a come together. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I know they really possible.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, that's just a title, but I'm telling you the facts that Yeah, go ahead. Would they hear you?
You know the area. It's very low. I know the area at all.
I don't know why this thing they make so. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Even tell you, your grandpa tell you say una fumble then they Ghana. Well, I don't talk to you fumble then a Ghana. Then they northern Ghana, then call the Gonya. Now then are the Imam then a Gonya. If you call me privately, I go show you pictures and everything. The Camaras are Diomande. In French West Africa, people then they would use that word there as a surname, Diomande. Una come out from a part of the Mali Empire, what they call Kong Empire. Yes, sir. Contact me privately. Let me give you the detail. I'll give you pictures of the Kamara Imamate in Gonia, northern Ghana. Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
We'll get for try fix this telephone
Yes, sir.
problem.
The telephone not the problem. Na me,
I know you're nothing with this the conversation.
na me mixer the give problem. I don't know if now some of the parts and on the done on the cable or whatever. I go check them. I go do check. Anyway, I think we've done a great job today.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we'll get other callers where they wait for call. Una can call in the next 2 to 3 minutes. Otherwise, we will call it a day and we come back on Wednesday. Okay. Somebody they call from Sierra Leone. Hello? Hello? Yes, sir. How are you? Okay. Mm-hmm. If I can give you a very honest answer, leadership is not about age, it's about skill and knowledge. And my honest opinion is, of all the people that way they grab say they want to be leader, I not see none way mature. Leadership has a level of maturity that you see. One of the maturity of leadership is to be part of a collective responsibility. A leader should be prepared to take responsibility with the team where they work with. All the guys in the APC who don't work with this present executive, if they are coming out to cast blame, that's immaturity. I did leadership training plenty time. Leadership, you therefore be able to accept, say, I am wrong, we are wrong. You don't have to say it publicly and take the blame for them. But if you are use them as an excuse for wanting to be a leader, that's immature.
Totally. And I be one for contribute on that particular subject the way the brother they talk about maturity. Maturity is a multifaceted concept, often described as the ability to take responsibility, show empathy, handle life challenges with grace and wisdom. Or you can also say maturity is not measured by age, but by the responsibility one takes for their actions and the empathy they show towards others. Maturity is also ability to reap without apology and not complain when things don't go well. That is exactly what you said when you talk to Ram. Maturity is when you choose to remain silent rather than to explain to someone who doesn't value your words. There is something here when I quote, they say youths end when egoism does. Maturity begins when lives for others, when one lives for others. I mean, youth ends when egoism does. Maturity begins when one lives for others. The true mark of maturity is when somebody hurts you and you try to understand their situation instead of trying to hurt them back. So maturity is not just growth, physical growth, big chest, heavy blows. It is a mental state.
Exactly. It's an emotional state. Between me and you, I not see anyone. If they are ready, we can train them. And the leader way for take Sierra Leone forward, enough for be egoistic.
You know, not so egoism, they make people in the blame. Once you when
There
they
is
say
so
what
much.
is responsibility.
Let's go one at a time, sir. There is so much challenges in Sierra Leone that if you are an egoist, you cannot be able to manage the situation. The leader we get for make Sierra Leone forget a scientific outlook. He doesn't have to be a scientist, but he should understand the interconnectivity of everything, everybody, and every circumstance. And he forget a team of people because leadership is not about one person. That's where we make the mistake all the time in Sierra Leone. God is not an idiot to make one person leader and the rest followers. That's why the saying says, if you want to be a good leader, you have to be a good follower. That means you forget a team of people, we get the capacity, forget the empathy for say this place is our place. Let us make it for all of us. It's not about me and my government have done this, especially so when we go begging for what we want to be done.
Well, you can also say a leader, a person where they manage a team. You know, you get
That's what leadership is about.
yes,
Manage a team.
manage a team. You know, because the word president it comes for presiding. You the superintend, you the manage, and you get for share power. That is, you get for allow people them for expatiate their expertise in various areas. Now you make even when you get a government, you get different area. Just like we knife or we live. We all cannot be the same, whether we like it or not. We are all different. We are differently wired, differently tuned. And we are all wired differently for a reason. And the reasons, now that makes some man a doctor, some man a lawyer, some man a medicine. We all not go be lawyer. The world will be a very miserable place because we go get lawyer them. We sabi all the jargons then are got, but we not get oats for sleep. We will need mercenaries. We need carpenters. Even the
you need how for collect you dirty. It's a very important.
Exactly. So now this we're not able to understand in Africa. We feel to say when you go school, you don't sabi book, you don't get formal instructions, you are superior and everybody else inferior. That's a lie. You cannot function. We are interdependent until when we're able for understand that and we begin to apply them, we're not go anywhere. And when you're not a manager, it's like a football team. Football, you get 11 players, but there is a manager. Now they buy them. Now they supervise them. Now they coach them. They hire other coach them for help and coach them. It gets counts them when they go look for good player and for come make the team.
And above all, one thing we don't lost in the world we been there happen up to the 1980s. Leaders go through training. Traditionally in Sierra Leone, the training of the leader before he take to the seat of paramount chief has been part of our leadership. Now they don't take and make something else. The team needs then they carry the chief go counter.
Exactly.
The mandate themselves been they carry the chief go for go train. This issue of I, we should put it down in Sierra Leone.
You see,
God is at the council are not done it. God is not stupid to make us diverse. Diversity is a natural occurrence. And because of diversity, the leader has to understand that I am going to lead a people of different character, different emotions, different professions, etc., etc. One thing for stop na Sierra Leone. Now this manifesto rubbish. When I be president, you don't even know what you are going to meet. They go meet, talk, say I go do this, I go do that. Get a team of people, research what needs to be done. Then after that, come back to the people. This is the present situation. This is this. We think we can do this from point A to point B, from this time to that time. Yes, sir, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, I know the area with this man they talk. I know the area at all, and you know they make.
Well, way they talk, say they just in the area. I wonder why. Okay, sir, go ahead.
I know the area at all.
If Sierra Leone wants to solve its leadership problem, we will put aside politics. We will establish research institutes. We will establish think tanks. We will establish institutions there where people then go and train and learn leadership. Leadership, not to try they born with. Yeah, you can born with qualities. We'll go make people and like you like day before them. But you need for train, for get the emotional maturity for lead people them. And that is what is absent basically in Sierra Leone.
Well, the thing is, you say something we're very, very, very important, very significant. You see, it comes back to this colonialism, the way we mind so colonized. We feel to say everything indigenous is bad, is not good. But we can learn from we indigenous cultures and tribes. This counter thing where you talk about so.
Mm-hmm.
Now a model where we can learn from, because that counter then they go teach you the rituals, them what you need for understand how for behave, how for conduct yourself,
Exactly.
how for dialogue, and how you go understand the culture for let you go able to give maximum performance now the role. And you get people them where they teach you. And in that process, they go alone. They go in the counter with your wife, because your wife automatically will be a chief. There are rituals that she has to understand. Look like we get a president now, how he wears chaka chaka all over the place. He not even know a role. Where you go to that counter, by the time when you come out a different person. And some of the things them where you get for know how you transition power. Now that's make if a chief die in those days, they're not the announcer straight away because of the transition. They can forget the modalities then together before they come out and say the chief don't die. Then they say the chief sick for so is sick. He's sick. They say don't die long term, because then they try for let them organize the environment, the society, make confusion not go take place, alahala, people that begin to rush, and then kind of thing. So nothing not go happen. We go destabilize the community. So what thing go happen is the chief don't die, the announcer straight away when that happen, the chief priest, a role they change, because now the compromisum. It change from compromisum, it change to paroque. That is
Regent, the regent chief. Yeah.
It'll be the regent chief. Well, when it be regent chief, immediately they crown the chief. They can for excuse that vicinity. They know they can that place they again. But it will be
now just make and short.
Yeah.
I don't say we need for set up institutions for trained leaders. If we are going to have credible institutions, we'll go make we leaders they understand we cultural demands, we cultural diversity, etc., etc. It's high time we consider removing paramount chiefs from party politics, put them a council, give them some of them tasks here for trained leaders. We have to begin to take Sierra Leone seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can make Sierra Leone except us. Not every Jack and Tom for come say one for be paramount chief for leader. Mr. Saki say I want to be president. But I know myself, and I know there are qualities in me that will not make me a good president. So I'm not going for that.
There's something I've been one for waiting where you got in. When he become the crown a new chief, he can forget the portfolio of ministers. You get Kopurumusum, Kopurusoya, Kopurufenti. These are all ministerial positions.
Yeah.
That is, they specialize with people and be specialized. And that speciality they then get waiting and call clear power sharing. You go back na the side, not na the Cambia side, when they not get the poro, when they not get the belly system. You get Pal Mami. You get the paramount chief, by upon law, the Kande. Then you get Pal Mami, Pasantigi. These are all ministerial positions. Pakomrabai is the coordinator. Now any coordinate, Pasantigi, now a prosecutor. These are all roles, specialized roles. Now we country when they get leader. Now the leader, waiting from above. They work so even at the cultural waiting, then they consult, then they get consensus. Not a one, it's a team. Until we go back to team leadership, we not go get it right. Because you get a lot of people, when they look for a Moses, no. That is a dictator right there.
Now, the fact is, not even a dictator. The fact is, we have been looking for a Moses since 1961 and we are not getting him. That tells us God is not as stupid as we are.
Now, Solomon,
Long revival mentality. The problem is our mentality.
Not again Moses or Solomon will end up with. Because when you talk about, you say, I will look for a strong leader. This is what we get when you look for a strong leader. A leader want to work with others. A leader want to consult. A leader want to look for consensus. A leader want to get a conversation. A leader where no the power, no the trickle can down. Then go take all the power.
I think we don't lost some. We don't lost the man.
These are the things people are allowed to try for clothes for today. Because
So that's be the try for calling.
What a leader is. We get the wrong definition.
We will do a program on that. I am not boasting that I'm a leader, but I think I did a lot of leadership training.
A lot of people they come out and they talk for say, oh, this Yenga business, enough of it happened during Pasheki term. I go tell you now the reason why. Checker Stevens, he was mature. Checker Stevens gets a negotiation skill. Now be a union man. Now be a PRO.
Why this man not able to come to?
Now be a PRO. Checky was not just, he started as a policeman. A go do union causes. Now be a union man, he work as a union person, he become a mayor, he can negotiate. Now he make quite a lot of things where SLPP be failed, but he succeed because he knows how to bring people in together. He know how to negotiate. These are all skills where a leader forget. Not of a go take person, can I go to CID, go bully him to submission. No, you create an environment of fear, and outside fear, they dangerous.
Why is my phone not connecting now?
To get one great possible, I need to make all the decisions. It's like for say,
well, now allow him because now they take and make vexation. When you want a good leader, you don't get annoyed. You tell him what he should do because he's your servant.
When I am we are the other way around, Naina the boss.
Yeah, because we accept him, Imran.
That's what I always say in my audios. I don't say that from the word go.
Why these calls they're not they go through again?
If loyalty belongs to the people, how comes the people not participate per nothing? Who said they for do a referendum, they know they do them. Elections, they know they can't find. I don't know why would the border for go do elections with they not get that they get for decide whether they put today. One time more than do them, then talk for say na regime change. Who da make that decision there? Who side that conversation they start?
Imran, as far as I'm concerned, I don't grumble about those things. I say what I believe. You don't want to hear, you don't want to know in business. I'm not a big nobody. If you want to change society, you have to adopt a method. Why this thing not they come through?
We don't go 11, 17, but we don't know.
Hello? Hello? I don't know why. What's in the happen today? Why? The hear way they talk, but it's not connected. I don't know why. Hello? Okay. I think I hear you now clearly.
As far as me concerned, I don't only hear police Yenga problem. Why is it that now only 2 years ago
Well, that That I don't know, but I have given the facts about Yenga. And if they follow it, maybe we go get a solution to them. But as I say, I see something bigger than what we are seeing. There is some economic power behind what is happening at Yenga. Some investigation has to be done about that. And I believe, say, the purpose is not only about Yenga, it goes beyond Yenga. 70% of the diamonds mined at Colonial find their way in Conakry. Who is behind it? Maybe the takeover of Yenga is a start to take over all the diamondiferous land in Sierra Leone. But the fact of the case is clear. Yenga and Conakry now a swap between the French and the British. The government should take the case to the International Court of Justice. They make an injunction on Guinea. Then try for do research, forget all the facts connected with how that swap was done between the British and the French. Because well before colonialism, the British had been present at Conakry. And look, well, I don't know. Honestly, I would not make an hypothesis on it. And I don't want to go with public opinion. The only thing I know is the Guineans have something behind hidden under their sleeve. We will for try find out. But before they allow this thing for go out of hand, let them take an injunction with the International Court of Justice. Then let there be a thorough research on the history of Guinea, Conakry, Yenga, the history behind the Berlin Conference, demarcation of Africa. Then we would have a solution to Yenga.
Mm-hmm. Because if they not do that injunction, they the longer wait and they allow them to occupy the space, it give them more confidence for do more.
I don't want to make any hypothesis, but I know say something bigger than what you would see day behind this Yenga thing. Okay, sir. So we talk later, sir.
For the other gentleman we be called, what we talk about team business. A lot of Sierra Leoneans they don't know the power.
Nine call back, so.
The power of the word team. Team, the acronym is together, everyone achieves more. We in Sierra Leone will not get the culture for work together. So remember, we not achieve nothing. All what you will sabi for draw. Tell like Tom and Jerry, any side will meet up.
You know why? That will be my last word before we go. Do you realize that slavery ended in Sierra Leone only in 1924?
Yeah, I know.
That's a traumatic issue that we have to deal with. One day, we get for come on a program, we talk about that. Slavery.
Well, Daddy, my grandpa self-married to his slave. He get slave them. My grandpa get slave them. Papula,
Well.
He even married the slave. He born two picking them with the slave. One, my auntie called Auntie Mamidi, late now. May her soul rest in peace. And the other one, Auntie Ramata.
That one, they affect with social psychology.
And I been talk to somebody today, just this evening term, where we been talk about the Mambolo chieftaincy. There are some ruling houses where they say some of the slaves them what the chief beget don't infiltrate, they don't become, they don't get a ruling house now, and they're not legal. Then they call them the Leon house.
These are all issues we need to research, Imran. If we mean good for Sierra Leone, these are the things we should be paying attention to. Because now then they divide with country.
Because
Now why we been the thing saying a slave trade.
Mhm.
Now in Pekin don't get education, he don't get public job. If you go begin to treat her like slave, you they create dissension in the society.
Precisely. And when we talk about the abolition of slave trade, yes, that was the transatlantic slave trade. Now we talk about, but
Yeah.
inside Sierra Leone, now in nearly mid-19, because even in 1920, it still they go on.
Yeah.
It is still they go on.
Even as we speak today.
Yes.
Even as we speak.
A lot of the paramount chief ruling houses had slaves.
Even
And some
as
of
we
the family
speak.
of the slaves, and they are still known today.
Yeah. That they affect relationships.
Of
That
course.
they affect with participation in the economic issues. There are a lot of things we should research on.
And
But
a lot
instead
of
we sit down, they make noise, APC, SLPP. It's time we get sober about Sierra Leone. It's time.
It make a lot of people scared for come forward. Because then the friends say, if he come and go pull the identity, say not be slave.
And maybe he gets some talent what we need.
Precisely. Because like this Leon, why they talk about, so the Leon group, they were warriors. They were slaves, but warriors.
Oh, well.
They save the Mamolo chiefdom. Now they ask her what he wants. Now they say he want to be chief.
Anyway, we've done well today. I think it's time we go and rest. We tell all the listeners them, thank you. I see a lot of comments now. We're not going able to read all. The only thing we'll go say is the challenges then at Sierra Leone, there's so much that we get for a begin exercise, a lot of emotional maturity for solving country problem.
Emotional intelligence get for come to play.
Yeah.
That means to say with society get forget enough.
Yeah.
We get forget control.
Yeah.
We're not go just do no more. Alahala.
This, me sabi this, me better pass this, me this, that. Let we put on down. Let begin look at waiting for do right, how for do and right.
But if, one thing the way that they take mislead a lot of people. Pajalo, you don't want to see anybody get PhD in geography.
May I get more?
No, because this is what they tell people. If you get PhD in a small component, small area, now then you specialize. You know something about geography. Geography is so huge that there's no way anybody will get a geography. It's not possible. But this is how they misinform people. He gets mathematics. You sabi do all the mathematics. Now small area, very small
well,
area.
all down there, I'll tell you something. It's all part of the ignorance.
Yeah.
If you say the man get PhD maybe in mathematical statistics or in algebra or maybe in abstract mathematics, I would understand you that he did a section called abstract or statistics where do research. You understand? But for say the man get PhD for mathematics so broad that he get PhD.
No subjects, no, no subjects today.
No.
But this is what they try to make people believe. You don't learn all the book.
Well, you see. Now we know with them. We'll go deal with them at another time.
If you get PhD, self, you need to be.
I know the root of all down the Imran. Imran, so I come out. They come up from this same thing they talk about slaves and masters. When the Protectorate Assembly was set up in 1948, that issue started surfacing. There were people who got educated but who were not from ruling houses. They had to be proxy to those from ruling houses.
Yeah.
30 days, 9 they affect with
that
politics.
mentality, because they say that the chief and they nominate people there so that they don't fumble them and
that same mentality. Now I make them a fumble there, then they misuse me grandpa in school, both school.
Yeah.
But we'll go deal with them in another
and
program.
then cronies and medicine. You know, because them thing they're very important. When you go come out now, you say you get PhD, but you need spoon for it. Who do they make the spoon? You need bed for the dog. Who do they make the bed? You know? So they not create the environment for that we coexist. And if coexistence not the society they totally day in disarray. Now that makes Salome in disarray. Because people they want, you don't see how Salome they treat the house boy. You don't see how Salome they treat picking away than the men. You get your own picking and they go school. You go take people picking for can brook for your picking and why you and they go school. Can you justify that? Can you beat that? And it still happen as Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Because of their mentality they have.
Yeah. But you know, Rome was not built in a day, and that's what this platform is for. Deal with those issues, let people understand, say this is not the way we should be going. This is not the way we should be going. Scientifically, we are interconnected. No matter whether man have been slave or not, we are connected by DNA. We are connected by our spiritual connections, etc., etc.
What would they talk just now? You know, think kind of my mind. What would they tell people that would not the bande people there? You know, team in the man call bande.
Now what him?
Now gone.
Oh well. And the bandit and our warriors, them, you know that? You don't know that.
And this is why I brought it. This is why I brought it. When the man say God, he say bandit.
I think that them be mona the old come now. I made them give them that name bandit. Hello, go sleep, buddy. Bamboo them, thank you. We go come back on Wednesday. Do you are the one that wake up newly? Una subscribe to the channel. Una will be done there with we. Una thank you. Una help we for share this channel. Let it go wide. Let people begin know certain
how much people will get today?
We had about 40 in the beginning. Now it don't reduce.
Okay.
You understand? Now they go. People they listen to we late now. I make the numbers they go up.
Okay.
We are preparing certain lessons will go attached to this channel. There are issues like leadership. There are issues like cultural synchrony. I am preparing lessons on them, but then they come one at a time. Let we not assume nothing. There are things we need to learn for us to coexist.
We people that don't get apprenticeship for hundreds of years, thousands of years.
Yeah.
Then medicine man and get apprentices.
Yeah.
Then a Quranic scholar then get karande.
Yeah.
Then you get driver apprentice. You get tailor apprentice. You get blacksmith apprentice. These things don't happen for thousands of years. Where have they all gone? That culture of absorbing knowledge from somebody who is skilled.
Now, in the first place, let me make one thing known. I don't assume knowing, but I can assure people that I do a lot of research because I read all the time, I find out all the time, and all these things that I'm getting to learn, I am ready to share it with people. Share it, let us have a conversation around it. Let us look at how we can use that to make our lives better. We need to do that. If not,
you come on, then call you loco because of convenience. Then call you shibra because of convenience. With man and convenience, not to even your own convenience. If you participate in any referendum, say when I want for change your name from Bolum people to Shabro, when we do any, we get any referendum where local man decides say we call we self local instead of bandit people. These are all the things. Anyway, my brother, let's have a good night.
Yes, sir. Thank you, people. We go meet on Wednesday.
What happens when truth becomes a tool? not a right. In Sierra Leone, confusion isn't just chaos, it's strategy. When leaders deny what you live, gaslight your reality, and rewrite the past, who really holds the power? Tonight on Truth Unmasked, we expose the tactics, we name the games, we decode the lies. Don't just believe what they tell you. Ask why they want you to believe it.
Oh no, who go speak for the voiceless? Oh yeah. The system they're broken is lawless. Then they use the power for oppress. Mama cry for the picky where them put to rest. These streets they red like the sunset. Oh yeah. Bodies that fall, but we not forget. The women them cry, them pain at the silence. Who go fight for justice in this violence? Our leaders were the love for the nation. Why you not they bring with tribulation? Them they kill with dreams with oppression. Sierra Leone, we need salvation.